The inauguration of Barack Obama created millions of separate rhetorical occasions. The most obvious one was the spectacle of his televised speech that signified his first official act of public oratory and his new role as 44th president. But the inauguration also commemorated and aggregated the rhetorical gestures of those who assembled in Washington, D.C., and those who participated in the event online. Representations of political crowds have traditionally had great significance as they shape our cultural imagination. Being part of a virtual crowd or sharing a distant experience through novel technologies has a long history. When Abraham Lincoln took office, spectators made stereoscopic photographs to include those who couldn't be physically present. In California, I experienced the inauguration through my computer screen. I followed the Twitter feeds of those who were out on the mall. With each line of the speech, Facebook friends were posting comments. I even attended an inaugural ball in the online virtual world, Second Life. I was grateful for the mobile devices of friends, acquaintances, and even strangers who posted their impressions to social network sites. With unprecedented access to tools for creating and disseminating digital media, the record of this inaugural ceremony might capture the potential riches of American pluralism, populism, and democratic inclusiveness, with many individual perspectives on display. Despite the large number of digital files, this legacy is remarkably fragile, however. Unlike scrapbooks or photo albums, which exist as physical objects, the digital record is often stored on remote servers in what information technology specialists call the cloud. Rhetoricians and historians also can't mine this treasure trove because of privacy architectures, user agreements, and technologies that prevent copying. Accounts can be suspended or deleted with little cause by .com corporations that might not last into the next century. Post a picture of your breastfeeding baby on Facebook, and your family may lose your photograph of the Obama motorcade forever. A presidential inauguration is clearly in the public domain and the intellectual property of all Americans. However, cynics may observe that even the I Have a Dream speech of Martin Luther King Jr., which took place in the public space in the same city and now seems a particularly prescient expression of a nation's shared hopes, as Obama takes office, now must be licensed to be posted anywhere on the internet. Who would have thought a half-century ago that King's speech would be sold to a French telecommunications company that paid to digitally remove the crowd and the other speakers because it made for a better television commercial? The million-plus people who were in attendance at the Obama inauguration could just as easily be wiped from the screen in the future if our rights to the cultural commons continue to be eroded by policies that make the everyday practices of citizens who use computational media for recording, duplicating, editing, and sharing a crime. Even if no dystopian future unfolds in which Obama's audiobook publishing empire somehow combines with his branded presidential library to forbid storing any digital copies of his voice or likeness from that historic January 20th day without the express permission of his heirs, there are many problems with continuing to depend upon access to our record of this major rhetorical event in distributed electronic networks. We can probably safely take for granted that events that involve political crowds will not become like rock concerts and baseball games, subject to takedown on YouTube and other sites for sharing digital files. But we need to turn our attention to preserving this cultural legacy for future generations and address the absence of public funding for archiving the digital ephemera of online audiences and participants.